Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Bees, where we're exploring a little bit about leaders themselves and how they cope when they get into that senior executive role. And the question I've got today is, why do successful leaders sometimes struggle when they step into that bigger or larger role? So it's an interesting one, this, because most leaders fail the transition because what they're trying to do is more or less their old job, but at a new scale. So when you think about it, how do people get into senior leadership roles? Most of the time they get into the senior leadership role because they have been technically brilliant at what they've done. And because they've been technically brilliant at what they've done, then they get that promotion to the next senior executive level. When they get into that role, they realize that all of that technical capability that they had previously, that they could lean on to be seen as being technically brilliant, has gone. When you get into these senior executive roles, you automatically think you're going to have authority, when in actual fact you don't. Your role becomes a role of leading by influence rather than direct authority a lot of the time. And the skills that you need are a completely different set of skills to what you would be able to lean on previously, which got you up that kind of greasy pole of success. So the competence handover is what I'm talking about here, where leaders often cling to the technical skills that got them to that point, but they struggle from a refusal to let go of the doing to then actually understand what it is to be the leading role. The complexity gap also is quite stark. When you're in a technical based role, the problems are like puzzles. They can be solved through logic and be fixable through logic and rationale. But in a bigger senior executive role, it's more mystery. So interconnected, it's unpredictable. So it's linear thinking and system thinking. Of course, your peers change as well, and the stakeholder management changes. So you need to be aware of that. And sometimes there's even an identity crisis, so a bit of imposter syndrome. But really, I think it's about being super aware about yourself and what you're good at, what you're not good at. I always had a boss come to me say that he got to a point in life where he was comfortable with his level of incompetence, which meant he knew what he was good at and didn't. And what he wasn't good at, he got someone else to actually fill that gap. So if you're becoming a senior leader and you want to know more, give us a call, drop us a line. We'd love to help in any way we can. And that's it for this week on the Weekly Bees.